cocktail hour, so rock 'em up. Ooh, mama, it's cocktail hour.
It's your girl, Zeta Lisa. Welcome to Mama's Cocktail Hour. It's been a really long time that I've been here, and I apologize. Life has gotten into the way, but you already know when something's your passion and you just always kind of come back to it. And what way else to come back to the game than with Diddy house being raided? We need to jump into this, so let's get started. For anybody new here, yo, what's up? My name is Z. We talk all things current events, currently everything Diddy. We like to keep it real. We like to be honest. So welcome to my platform. Thank you for coming into my space. If you have not hit that notification button, please do so. It means a lot to me. It can help me grow my channel. And it's going to help you in some type of way, because I'm going to make sure to give it to you real, give you the tea, and make sure that all the information that I'm getting here is accurate to my knowledge. I like to be fair on this platform. So for anybody who already knows the game, what's up? But if not, and you think that this would be for you, please hit the like button. And all right, I'm going to stop talking. Let's get into it. So your man Diddy, because I ain't going to say my man, because he is not my man. Your man Diddy is out here in these streets, jumping on jets to either Antigua or Miami. That has been the biggest debate, and we're going to clear that up here today, okay? I've heard so many stories about Diddy, about where he's been. I've heard that he was like in Cape May, in Antigua. I've heard that he was in Miami airport. Like, there's been so many running stories. But I think actually Tisa Tells, shout out to Tisa Tells, she's dope, and her information, you know, she always goes above and beyond and make sure she gets the accurate stuff. So she was able to break down on her show today that it looks like there was 2 planes that Diddy kind of hired his own, what do you want to call it? Like deploy plane, if that makes sense. So like he had people thinking that he was going one way and people were tracking him and saying it was like on its way to Antigua. That looks like that was like a decoy plane. I'm saying deploy. Apologies. Decoy plane. So it looks like he had one of those, and then he actually had a plane that he was in that was stopped in Miami. So that viral clip that's going everywhere, I'm going to play it for you guys so you guys can see it. But that viral clip of him pacing back and forth, people were saying like, yo, he was crying. He definitely looked agitated. He looked scared. He looked nervous. But in that clip, they were like, yo, he's in Antigua. I'm like, he is definitely not in Antigua. It looks like there was a plane, one of his planes that left that went there. Like I said, decoy, right? He wanted them to think he was in that plane, but he was really in another. That plane stopped in Miami. So that viral clip that you guys are seeing, that clip is him pacing in Miami. Because currently there has been no charges brought against Diddy. So it looks like they raided his homes in New York, in LA, and in Miami. But there has been no charges brought against him at this current time. So I think the feds, because we know when the feds come through, when they come knocking, just know they got their shit 100% tight, right? So let's break it down for people who don't understand law. Let's do law in like a New York way, right? So they brought charges. So all these allegations are being thrown up about Diddy, right? We see the lawsuits between Little Rod. We've seen the lawsuits between Cassie. We've seen the lawsuits from allegedly Tierra Marie, the 17-year-old girl, right? We've seen so many lawsuits. So what do civil lawsuits do? If we can break it down and make it in its most simplistic form, civil lawsuits bring attention, especially civil lawsuits that go public. So the thing that fucked Diddy up was the fact that Cassie made that go public. If Diddy would have had the sense enough to pay Cassie and keep that sealed, make her sign 1 million NDAs, if he would have had the logistics to do so, he would not be in the predicament that he's in today. That is my opinion. People may not think that, but I think he fucked up when he decided that he was not paying Cassie. Because what her lawsuit did was, we know it encouraged a whole slew of people to come out about their Diddy stories. Because the only people who were coming out Diddy stories was Mark Curry, Gene Deal. And Jaguar Wright. So those are like the three big YouTubers or people on YouTube that I've seen that have come out about Diddy prior to Cassie. Like Gene Deal's been telling us for years. Mark Curry wrote a whole book, Dancing with the Devil. And you guys could have seen Mark Curry. He was on, I forgot the name of that podcast. It'll come to me. But he was on a really great podcast here on YouTube. And he was on there talking about everything Diddy. So, right, people have been talking about him for years. But what Cassie's lawsuit did was it brought the shit to life. It kind of let us kind of take a peek into his bedroom, so to speak, right? And that changed the whole game because everything that we were thinking initially, it all just kind of came in together. And you were like, oh, shit. I heard that. You know what I mean? Oh, this person was saying this, and everything starts to connect the dots. You connect the dots and everything starts to make sense. And then you start to go back. Or that might just be what I'm doing because I'm crazy. Drop down in the comments and let me know if you do this too. So I start to go back, right? I start to listen to the music in that time period because I'm a person that I like vibe off of energies. Because if you guys could see, like I have a really big energy myself. So when someone's energy is off, I can always pick it up because I'm very intuitive. So with Diddy, he's a Scorpio. And so I'm a Scorpio born November 6th. So I know the type of energy that a Scorpio, especially an aggressive, a man Scorpio, would have. Because I already know the elements of aggressive that can come out of me. I can be very strong-minded. I can be very assertive, sometimes maybe overly aggressive, and I have to check myself. So imagine someone who has billions of dollars, who like little old me don't got to worry about kids and responsibilities and making sure all of that. But someone who got money to blow, someone that's able to wake up tomorrow and be like, yo, I want to be in Antigua. Like that type of money, it changes you. It makes you into this monster. It makes you into this monster that is unstoppable. And honestly, I think that's Diddy's story. Like, I think a lot of people like to call him deviant and say he's the devil. And, you know, I've thought a lot about this because even on my platform, like, I feel like I go really hard on Diddy. And the reason is because I grew up listening to Diddy. Like, I grew up in the era of, like, Bad Boy, Total, 112, Mace, like... And I grew up in the inner city, so it was so prevalent. Like you heard it every day. Like that was the only type of hip hop that I was listening to. So to kind of see it play out and almost to feel like, damn, your whole childhood has been changed because of who this person really is or who you thought this person was, right? And I guess that's why they say like you really don't know somebody, right? Because people can be totally different people than you envision. And that's what I think it is for Diddy. For me, like, I'm super, like, honestly, if I want to say something, I'm disgusted, of course. I'm disappointed. You know, I think that probably deep down inside, there is a good side of Diddy. There is something that everybody loves. Like, he's that person in the room that's always going to shine, right? Like, but there are some deep demons that he hasn't, either he developed because he started to kind of move up in his, you know, you start moving into money. There's certain levels of money. You start hitting into the Illuminati shit. Like there's all different types of shit, I'm sure, allegedly, that goes on. And when you get access to that, I think you just if you cross that boundary, you tap into a whole nother level. And for Diddy, like he is lost. So enough of my ranting, but let's jump into some of the facts. So it looks like the Homeland Security and the Southern District of New York has raided his houses in Miami, in LA, and New York, Miami, and LA. So those three places. And so the LA one, I feel like was the one that was most televised. I don't know if it was all over the news. You saw the helicopters over. You saw so many cars. It looked like it was anywhere from 300 to 400 agents pulling up in front of Diddy's mansion and barging in with a warrant to get any electronics. It looks like the charges being brought against him currently, well, there's no, let me correct that. There is no charges being brought against him, but it looks like they were in regards to the raid, in regards to the warrant, they're looking for information regarding sex trafficking. So, what did Diddy do? He escaped on a plane to apparently Miami and had a decoy plane. I can't get that shit right. To Antigua. And he had everybody thinking he was in Antigua, but he really was in Miami. And that's the video that you've seen where he was pacing. So the biggest thing that has been happening on social media right now, and I don't know why this is such a fucking topic of like discussion, but I'm gonna let you know what's going on in these streets, right? Everyone is saying, now that it looks like the end is almost coming, how is Diddy gonna react? I think throughout this whole ordeal, like when everything dropped with Cassie, we heard some like quick statements that he put out that were probably put out based on his lawyer, not really himself. But we haven't really heard Diddy come out and say anything other than that rant that he did on a post. But we haven't heard it from the horse's mouth. So I think everybody at this point is like, we've been all waiting for the other shoe to drop off. Like Little Rod put out his complaint. Now there were allegations that were made by a man. You guys know, I mean, it's been a while. If you guys need me to catch you up, Little Rod put a lawsuit out, right? The lawsuit was based on drugs, sex trafficking, underage women, spiking champagne. Not to mention, let's insert Mark Curry, where he stated that he was at events where Diddy would say, hey, you can't have this, allegedly. You would have to take these. Or make sure you're not drinking these, fellas, because this is for the ladies. And let's just say like the ladies' ones were spiked. This was something that came out of the Art of Dialogue, where Mark Curry had an interview about his experience, not mine, with Diddy parties, his experience. So, you know, there have been murmurs about drugs, alcohol, and now it's really playing out. So, just another tidbit real quick that I thought was interesting that came across my plate. And I think what I'm going to do, guys, is because like it's my first day back. It's been a long journey, and maybe I can do like a non-Diddy video where I can kind of talk about me. Let me know if you guys would like that in the comment. Obviously, it'll be something completely different than this. You will still get this. But so I've been just, you know, kind of going through it. But like I said, this is my passion. I love to like investigate. I love to just get to the truth, right? I'm like one of those people, like I always want to get to the truth. So this is what this is about. This is not about ranting about Diddy. This is about giving you information, and as a community, right? Like trying to get to the truth. So one more piece of information that I want to leave you with is that on Little Rod's complaint, there was something interesting that just happened. So yesterday, it looks like Little Rod's complaint, because you guys know, right? Little Rod, the producer who just had the most recent lawsuit against Diddy, he put out an amended form of the complaint just yesterday. And what we think is interesting is on the initial complaint, he goes and he sues Diddy, he's suing Love Records, he's suing a Universal Music Group, and he's suing Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia was the CEO of Motown Records and was listed in Little Rod's complaint as complicit, allegedly, with sex trafficking and drugs and underage girls. This was all, he was kind of suing all of these people, and Ethiopia was one of them. What I think is interesting in the new amended Little Rod lawsuit is that Ethiopia has now been omitted from the lawsuit. And so it is because she is now going to be working with the feds, allegedly, against Diddy. So this is something new in. I want to get some more information on it, but I wanted to let you guys know first. It's been really dope coming in. I am going to do a series about Diddy. I'm thinking about something along the line of finding out about what happened to all these artists, right? What are their opinions on Diddy? There's a lot of people who worked with Diddy who we really don't hear about. We don't hear their perspective. I'm curious to know, like, with Diddy kind of possibly having to face his face everything soon, if other people are going to start to come out because maybe they feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe they know because he's at this point they can be more vocal. People like I'll Be Sure, Mary J. Blige. Like, who are the people you guys want to hear? I can give you my list right now. If I want people to spill the beans, these are the people that I want to hear. I'm tired of hearing Gene Dio. Listen, Gene Dio, I love you. What's up, Uncle Gene? But I want to hear the real from Jadakiss, from Styles P, from Mace, from Toto, from Mary J. Blige, Little Kim. Like, I want to hear the real from these people. Like, all the people who thought that they couldn't speak up because if one, their career would have been in jeopardy, they could have lost everything that they had. Imagine how many people he had in that predicament where he possibly could have done something and they felt like they couldn't speak out because of the type of person. This is the time. So this is the time, guys, the age of 2024, the year of Aquarius, that we are all things, like my man... Like my man said, all things will come to light, okay, in the year 2024. So catch on, be on, make sure that you're catching this show. Make sure that you're going to be on this show because we are going to be discussing all things Diddy, all things everything. We're going to be jumping into what are these people doing now? What is their perspective on Diddy? And just be listening to the streets to see if they actually speak. Make sure you hit that notification button. Make sure you subscribe to Mama's Cocktail Hour. It was nice speaking to you. It's your girl, Zeta Lisa. Bye.
I'm in the mood to drink, fuck it up, talk it up, drink in my cup, pour it up. You heard it first. Let's quench your thirst. Ooh, mama, it's cocktail hour, so rock 'em up. Ooh, mama, it's cocktail hour, so pour it up.